We're starting the recording and we'll get started. Hang on just a second. Okay. Whoops. Okay, guys, can everybody see the nutrigenomics slide?
Yes,
Linda?
sir.
You can hear me okay? Great. Awesome. Well, I'm checking all this stuff out, guys, because I had a little technical difficulty today. The camera went out on my computer, and I had to go buy an external camera and microphone and plug it in to make all this happen. And so want to make sure that you guys can hear and see tonight. This is important stuff. Want to make sure we get it done and get it done right, but I'm super excited. So anyway, let's get this thing on the road. Let's get it going. First of all, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Greg Dieker. I'm an elite proline distributor with LifeVantage. And I'm super, super excited to be here tonight to share the LifeVantage opportunity with you. I mean, I got to be honest with you, I could talk about this for 4 hours, but I'm going to talk about it for hopefully about 30 or 35 minutes at most, go over a bunch of information, and then kind of go from there, and I'll leave it back in your hands. This is a gift. I truly believe that this is a gift that we give to people tonight. And I hope at the end of the night, those of you especially that are guests on this call tonight, get something you can walk away from or walk away with that you're going to be excited about and be wanting to talk to more about the person who invited you here that's today. I would be remiss if I did not say that I'm a little concerned right now for all of our family and friends down in Texas and Louisiana. It's been a very, very tough week on those guys, and it's only going to get tougher for a while. So I'm going to ask all of your prayers, pray to whatever Lord you pray to them, that we take care of those people. And for those of us here that are in the helping and sharing way, we're going to be starting some stuff in Colorado next week after I get back, or 2 weeks when I get back, and see what we can do to help out, just like we did last year with the flood in Louisiana. So thank you all for everything you do. It's exciting always to be part of this family, and let's take care of our friends and let's take care of our family, because it's important stuff to us. All right, so let's get started here. Well, first of all, the slides won't advance. Hang on a second. What do we got going on here? Stand by, guys. Okay. All right. Well, it works that way. All right, we'll try this one more time. There we go. All right. Couldn't get cursor control. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what nutrigenomics is, it's a real simple explanation, to be honest with you. It's the scientific study of the interaction of nutrition and genes, especially with regard to the prevention and treatment of disease. Now, we don't claim to treat, cure, diagnose, mitigate anything. We do some very specific stuff, which we're going to talk about, but we do it nutrigenomically, which means we just turn on resources that are already in the body. That's all we do. We don't treat anything. We just tell the body, hey, let's turn a switch on inside the body that you've already got and you know how to use. It's a new technology. It's a technology that a lot of people don't know a lot about. But technology's always brought new benefits. Now let's think about years ago. In that upper left-hand corner, you see 25 years ago what a laptop looked like. Well, then think about what your laptop of today looks like. It looks like a notebook, and that's why they call them notebooks in comparison to the old ones. I actually had one of those compact laptops that you see in that picture, it weighed about 25 pounds and had to lug that thing around. And I'm going to tell you now, it was awful. It was better than trying to lug around a desktop, obviously, because there wasn't any way to do that, but unbelievably difficult to lug around when you had to travel. Or how about cell phones? Remember the brick phone? How many of you had one of those? I had a brick phone. I had the old bag phone. And of course, today we have the smartphone of the future that nobody ever dreamed that we would have. But you know what's funny is the technology of the human cell hasn't changed. We've just learned more about it. And we've learned in the past that we used to impact that cell positively on a one-to-one basis with antioxidants, direct antioxidants from food or pills, consuming them. Now we know that there's a way to activate the cell so it's a 1 to 1 million response in benefiting the health of people. That, my friends, is a technological breakthrough. We are biohacking the aging code. And for those of you who might have a little trouble with the term hack, well, to be honest with you, the term hack simply says find a better way to do it than we did it in the past. And that's what we're doing. We're biohacking the aging code like no one else is doing. We're studying the DNA and we're saying, hey, how can we activate people's DNA to benefit their health? And that's all we're doing. And that, my friends, is called nutrigenomics. Now, nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. I'm going to tell you now, we are on the forefront of a gigantic expansion in nutrigenomics, and people who take advantage of that here at LifeVantage have an opportunity to be part of that, but not everybody will. Think about the opportunities we've missed in the past. I will tell you, I have a friend of mine, in fact, she's an elite distributor in LifeVantage, and she doesn't tell this story very often, so I won't out her, but she was offered friends and family stock in Google when it came out. She could have bought Google shares for literally about $3.75. And she passed it up. And she told me, she goes, Greg, I passed it up because I didn't understand exactly what the company was entirely going to do. But she goes, I hated the name Google. She said, I thought it was the stupidest name for a company I ever heard of. Well, 4 months later, that company's stock was selling for $75 a share. You call that a missed opportunity? Yeah, gigantic missed opportunity. And she said, I had the money. I could have done it, but I made the mistake. I let the opportunity get away from me. So let's hope we're not doing that today. Today, I'm going to cover 6 essential pieces of information. And this is not something that we came up with in our company. Actually, Peter Drucker, a famous economist and guy that's taught in every marketing and business college in the world, came up with this. And he said very simply, you need 6 things in a company to have it be successful. Those 6 things are a solid company leadership. You've got to be following the right trends of the marketplace. You have to have excellent products. You have to have a system where people can get those products to their customers and their people. You have to be the right timing in the industry. Ask yourself, would this be a good day to bring out a new cell phone company or maybe to bring out a pager company? No, I think the timing for that's well long gone. How about compensation? We work hard, we want to get paid well, right? So you got to have a good comp plan. He says if you have those 6 key opponents, guess what? You can make a special kind of company. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've done network marketing before I got here to LifeVantage. I did it with 7 other companies, and quite honestly, I guess you could call me a 7-time failure because very simply, I never made enough money at any of those companies to even cover my expenses, much less have the kind of success my wife and I have had here. I look back now and I look at those other companies. Now that I understand these 6 components, I see what they didn't have. One wasn't following the trends. Another, the timing had been missed. One didn't pay their people very well. I mean, the bottom line was they all had holes in their system. And I'm here to tell you tonight, I don't think we have any of those holes, and I'm about to share that with you and why. So first, let's start with our products. It's an inside-out approach to health and wellness. The fastest growing industry in the world right now. It's predicted to be the next $1 trillion industry. But we're doing this, unlike a lot of other people, we're doing it at the cellular level, and we're doing it with nutrigenomics. We're doing stuff other people are not doing, plain and simple. So let's talk about each one of our products for just a little bit. If I can get the slide to go, there we go. All right, our flagship product, Protandim. In the upper left-hand corner in the blue label is Protandim, what we call NRF2, NRF2, because it activates the NRF2 protein path in the cell. That's the product that was originally developed back in 2003. And Life Vantage originally sold it across the counter. We became a network marketing company in May of 2009. And that's when the magic started to happen. Now, from the very start, it reduced oxidative stress in the body. And if you've never heard that term, that's okay. It's just cellular aging. And I'm going to show you an example of that here in a second. But oxidative stress is what ages us. It's a natural occurring process of the combination of food and oxygen in our body being converted to energy. If you're alive, you can't get away from it. You have it. This product has been approved by the Banned Substances Control Group for athletes to consume, and it's also been approved by the National Standards Foundation. And if you don't know who this is important. Think back a year or two ago, there was a big scandal for a while about products that were being sold on Amazon and a couple other locations on the internet that the ingredients in the bottle did not reflect the label. And in fact, they had products that, for example, were supposed to be gluten-free, but it was turned out to be they had wheat in them, things of that nature. It was a very bad deal. Well, trust me, none of those products had a National Standards Foundation certification, because their certification very simply means if it's on the label, it's in the bottle. And that way our customers and distributors can feel very comfortable to know that our product is safe and efficacious and it does exactly what the label says it's going to do. So the Nerve 2 product, what does it do? Very simply, it upregulates the body's natural production of antioxidant enzymes. Not antioxidants, but enzymes. The enzymes are what is important because your body runs on enzymes. So imagine your body now producing 3,000 plus more individual enzymes and upregulating the production of them by 300% each. That's a very special thing in the body that no other product has been able to do. Now, by the way, that Nerve 2 pathway was turned on when you were born, but it shuts down about the time of skeletal maturity. So for most of us, about 12 years old. That's a simple fact. Some people as late as 17 or 18. But in your teens, it's going to go away. There's no question about it. This just turns that back on. The results are up to the individual because not everybody, any two people actually are exactly the same. Now, Nerf 1, the bottom of the left with the silver label on it, came out just last year. Nerf 1 activates the Nerf 1 pathway in the cell, and that pathway increases mitochondrial function. I actually heard a professor once say, I've studied disease for 40 years. And he said, every single disease that I studied had one of two or both a relationship to oxidative stress or mitochondrial dysfunction. Wow. Isn't that an amazing statement to make? And we're the only company who has products that address both of those conditions. You can buy them together, the two of them together, like you see on the right. We sell them in a twin pack, and you actually get a discount when you do that. It's patented nutrigenomic technology that no one else has and does exactly what we say that it does. Physique is our weight management system. Here's some pictures of some people that have used the Physique system. We know these people. Some of these are friends of ours, and some of these are people in the business, and we've seen the success these folks have had. It's pretty tremendous to see what can be done when it's done right. But this system is designed specifically to address people's the unhealthy visceral fat that's in the body, and help people become healthier, faster, and do it in a way that's appropriate, and not a crazy, outlandish, out there way. Whoops, we jumped forward a little bit. Well, I'm going to have to come back to this slide. It's in the wrong spot. Actually, hang on here a second, guys. I think we skipped a couple of product slides. Let me go backwards. Hang on. Somehow the slide skipped over the True Science, or they got put in another place. So real quickly, True Science is our skincare system. It took the formula from Protandim, the Nerf 2 formula, and put it into the skincare system so you can activate that Nerf 2 response in your skin. All I can tell you is this 4-part system is amazing. And as a guy, that's an incredible thing to say. Because very simply, men just don't do skincare. That's not our gig. It never has been for me until this product came along. For the first time ever, I put something on my skin that actually felt good. And I've seen the results. I'll put my 61-year-old skin up against anybody's in my age group as to who's got better skin, because this product actually works. It helps repair, restore, and make your skin younger. It's not going to look younger. The cells are actually going to be younger. In the upper right-hand corner, you see our Axio. That's our energy drink. Our energy drink is designed for the brain. It's not a body energy drink. It's not loaded with sugar and caffeine. In fact, even the caffeinated version, there's 3 with caffeine and 2 without, only has the equivalent of a cup of coffee. So it doesn't have tons and tons of caffeine in it. And the caffeine it does have is natural caffeine from green tea. It is not the artificial stuff. So the reality is that it's brain food, and I love it. I'm sitting here, if you can see in the camera, that's my Axio bottle, and I'm sitting here drinking one as we speak tonight. Love, love, love that stuff. All right, so let's get on down the pike here a little bit, since it looks like we had a couple of slides disappear on us. We've seen physique. Let's keep going. All right. Well, that slide doesn't belong. I don't know how it got there. I'll have to come back to it later. Okay, so we've talked about the products. Let's talk about the trends, okay? The trends in the marketplace are incredibly important. If you're not following the right trends, your business isn't going to go anywhere. Here's the true fact. 75% of Americans today live paycheck to paycheck. That's financial stress. They need to get out of that. It can be the most damaging stress a body has when they're worried nonstop about whether or not they can pay their bills and they have no money in the bank. The average 65-year-old has $42,000 in the bank to retire on. And think about it, 65 years old, you're supposed to be looking to retire. Do you think you could possibly retire on $42,000? No, it doesn't work that way. In the process, people are spending billions of dollars. They want to look better, feel better, perform better, no question about it. But they're spending it in many cases on products that either don't work or aren't healthy for them. On top of that, there's a trend with millennials. 70% of millennials that have been interviewed would say, hey, we don't want to work for somebody else. We don't want to be in that 8 to 5 Monday through Friday cubicle the rest of our life. We want to work for ourselves. We want to build our own businesses. If you're a millennial watching this tonight, take a hard look at what we're offering you, because I got to be honest with you. I wish someone would have offered this to me when I was in that category. In fact, I was introduced to network marketing when I was just 23 years old. But the person who did it, he didn't understand the industry and he didn't understand the power of it. So he wasn't able to confer to me what the opportunities and the possibilities were. I wish I would have known, because I'm 61 now. I probably would have retired 20 years ago. And, you know, gosh, what a world it would have been if I could have understood the tiger by the tail that I had at the time, but I let it get away from me. The guy on the left in this slide, Paul Zane Pilzer, is a famous economist. He was smart enough to graduate business school at age 17. Let's face it, that doesn't happen very often. I barely graduated high school at 17. He's written a dozen books on the economy, is very well, he's very respected. He's been a consultant to 3 different presidents. This guy is telling us that the health and wellness industry is the next trillion-dollar industry and that we're following right in its steps. And that, to me, is exciting. So let's talk about the network marketing industry for those of you who might be concerned about network marketing. Most people think it's not a big deal. They don't understand just how powerful this industry is. When you consider there's 18 million people in the United States, 100 million globally, and those numbers are growing, by the way, on average about 6% a year, and it's a $187 billion industry with a B. That's big, guys. For those of you that are NFL fans, and I don't care what team, it's 10 times bigger than the NFL. It's bigger than the music, movies, and gaming industry added together. And those are massive industries. So is it big business? Yeah, it's big business. The industry pays out $200 million a day in commissions to someone. Could be you, could be me, it could be somebody else. But $200 million a day is nothing to sneeze at. And here's something special to think about. I notice there's quite a few women that are on this call tonight. If you are a woman, and 80% of the people who join network marketing companies are women, it's a proven statistic that 82% of the women who make a 6-figure income do it in network marketing. So that means 8 out of 10 women that are making $100,000 a year or more are doing it in network marketing. I would say your odds are very, very high that you can make 100K here long before you're ever going to make it in corporate America. It's just that simple. The company itself is publicly traded. It's on the NASDAQ. I love that. I love it because I'm a stockholder. I can't wait to see this thing grow like crazy. I love it because it provides transparency. They can't hide deals done in the back room, and they can't hide their finances. We get to see it on a quarterly basis, quarter over quarter, and I've always been excited about that every year. When the company converted from over-the-counter to network marketing, we were at about $3 million in annual revenues. We grew it to $200 million annually in 4 years. I'm going to show you a slide here in a second why that figure is important. We'll kind of remember that one. We've got some experienced management. Darren Jensen, who's our CEO right now, Justin Rose, our Chief Science Officer. Between them, over 50 years experience in this business, building successful companies and making things happen. Couldn't be happier to have those two gentlemen at the helm of our team. Have we had other executives before them? Sure we have. But I could tell you now, I think this pair is by far the best. One of the unique things we've done is we've partnered with Real Salt Lake of the Major League Soccer. They wear our name on their jersey. Now, I'm going to tell you why I think this is super important. I'm not a big soccer fan, and you may not be either. But here's the point. Soccer is the largest sport in the world, fastest growing sport in the world. It's the fastest growing sport in America. Now, as we go into international expansion, and by the way, Darren Jensen is a master at international expansion. In fact, we're headed into China and to Germany both this month, two of the best network marketing companies in the world, and China, obviously the largest country in the world. As we go into these countries, the bottom line is the rest of the world is soccer crazy. You know, the United States, we've got the NFL, we've got Major League Baseball, we've got the NBA, et cetera. We're not so soccer crazy, but the rest of the world is, because they don't have what we have, but they recognize soccer names. So when we're going to go into a lot of these countries, they may not know what LifeVantage does, but they're going to recognize our name, and that's going to give us some instant credibility when we sit down and say, hey, we want to talk to you about a company called LifeVantage. And they go, oh yeah, those are the guys that are on Real Salt Lake's jersey. This to me is going to be the most incredible sponsorship or business deal we probably could have ever done. In the process, all of this is attracting top earners in the industry. We have a lot of our top people that get to speak nationally and internationally at different conventions and so forth with other leaders, and they all say, hey, we're watching you. We see what you guys are doing, and a lot of them are coming to join us in the process. From a timing standpoint, this is called the S-curve of business. It was created by a guy named Peter Drucker. I mentioned his name earlier when I was talking about the 6 business essentials. He says every business starts in the pioneering phase. And over time, they build it to the point where they become branded. And branded is when people know you by name. And you don't have to advertise as much. In fact, you almost have word-of-mouth advertising. People referring business to you because you've grown and you've proven to be something that they want to see and hear about. He calls that critical mass. Once companies reach critical mass, they move into the momentum phase of their business, which is where 80% of the company's growth over time is going to occur. This is a statistic that is held solid for thousands and tens of thousands of companies. And then eventually it'll slow down to the point you'll reach stabilization. So think of a company like Amway, launched in 1958, grew tremendously in the next couple, 3 decades, and now they grow about 2% a year. The reality is they're in stabilization. That's a perfect example of how this curve works. Well, we're not into that momentum yet. We're closing up on it. We know it. We feel it. A lot of us understand it because we see what's going on out there. But it's things like Forbes magazine last year ranking us as the 5th best performing company in the United States. Russell 3000 adding us to their stock index. It's the National Institute of Aging doing an 11-year study on aging that proves that we extend life by up to 7%. That, my friends, is critical. Who else is expanding life by 7%? Let me ask you this simple question. 7% for the average person is 5 years. If you have kids, if you have grandkids, what's 5 more years with your grandkids mean to you? To me, it would be everything. So for $40 a month, someone has the opportunity to extend their life by up to 7%. To me, that's stunning and exciting, and that creates opportunity. Business for Home magazine rated us a AAA plus opportunity, something they've only done with 23 other companies in the history of that company. So we're kind of in rare air. Almost more important than that is the statistics in the upper left-hand corner. The Direct Sales Association says getting in any brand new network marketing opportunity in the top 150,000 distributors. Message from the webpage. I have no idea what that means. Every top 150,000 distributors is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because they know statistically 80% of all the money ever paid out to that company over the history of time is going to that top 150. Well, guess what, guys? We don't have 150. We don't have 100. Latest figures I heard in our last quarterly report was right around 77,000. So are you in early? You have an opportunity to be part of that 80%? Oh, absolutely. There's no question. We all have an opportunity to be part of that. So are we early? Yes. Anybody thinks they're late, they have, trust me, they have not missed this boat for sure. So now let's refer back to that stuff I mentioned to you earlier about us taking 4 years to hit 200 million. Now this is a list of the companies that have reached $1 billion in network marketing. One out of Brazil, the rest of them headquartered out of the United States. You're going to recognize almost all of these, if not all these names. I mean, many of them are household names. Well, let's look at the biggest one out of Brazil. It took them 25 years to reach 200 million and 37 years to reach $1 billion. Look at Herbalife. It took them 5 years to reach 200 million and 24 years to reach $1 billion. New Skin, 6 years to reach 200, 20 years to reach $1 billion. We reached 200 million in 4 years, faster than any of these companies. So what do you think the opportunity is for us to reach $1 billion? I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know the answer to this question, but I certainly believe we're going to set the record and we're going to be at $1 billion long before New Skin gets there. And for those of you who remember the part, or where New Skin got there, those of you who remember the part when I was telling you we are a publicly traded company, our stock's on the NASDAQ, every one of these publicly traded companies that are $1 billion or more, the minimum stock price for any of these, the last time I checked, which was a couple months ago, minimum stock price for any of these was $25 a share. Some were as high as $48 a share. Well, let's just assume we don't perform any better than the worst performing one out of the bunch. Imagine being $1 billion company in a $25 a share stock, and today you can buy it for around $3. Are you going to care if you bought it at $3 or $5 or even $10 when it's 25? I'm not. I'll tell you what, I'm not a stockbroker. I don't give stock advice, but I'll just tell you, I'm really looking forward to when this company turns into $1 billion company, because it's going to be special for those that took the risk and took the journey and invested in the company. So now let's talk about the business side of it. Let's talk about how people make money in this. We're paid 7 different ways. I kind of look at it as breaking it up into one-time and monthly checks. Yes, you get paid right out of the gate when somebody joins your business. Why? Because product gets moved. In order to be a legal network marketing company and not be considered the dreaded pyramid scheme, we don't pay anybody to enroll people. You get paid because as part of enrollment, they pick a product pack. You have to pick a product pack in order to be a distributor, and you'll see those product packs here in a second. But the simple fact is that's what keeps us legal. So we pay up front, and then we pay multiple different ways on the monthly, and that grows with your rank as you grow your business. But here's the important part. It creates residual income. Residual income is that income that shows up month after month, year after year, whether you're working or not. That's brilliant, because do you get that on a regular job? How many of you have a job where you know you can not go to work and still get paid? Now, you might get away with that for a couple of days, but after a while, that's going to catch up with you. Creating residual income is the key. That helps you create not only financial freedom, but time freedom at the same time. Mark Yarnell has a book out there called Your First Year in Network Marketing, and he did some research with top earners in the industry, and what he determined from his research was that people who get involved in a network marketing company and work consistently and hard at it for 10 years, 95% of those people who put in 10 years made more money than they ever made at any other time in their life. Now, I want you to think about that. You're going to work anyway, especially if you're a millennial or you're a middle-aged person. If you're not, 75 or 80 years old, maybe if you are and you need money, you're still going to be working 10 years anyway. Why not work 10 years for yourself? Why not build your own residual income that's going to last even longer than that 10-year window? That's the key, guys. That's what gives you time freedom and financial freedom, is creating that residual income. You're going to work anyway. How about you work for yourself? How about you take care of yourself and your family? That's my gig. Compensation plan. I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm just going to tell you, look at them real quick. It's just descriptions of the different ways we get paid. That elite bonus pool, that's what allows me to get paid when I put my head on the pillow every night and somebody else is out there working in the other part of the world. And it's unbelievable just to be part of that elite bonus pool. But the most fun is the My Life Venture program, because this is about our culture. This is something really special. We did something in this industry that's never been done before. And very simply, when you become an Elite Pro 7 and hold that rank for a year, the company gives you a brand new Jeep. They hand you the keys and the title. It's not a lease, not a loan, not a repayment. They hand you the keys and the title to that Jeep. The Jeep in the upper right-hand corner, that's mine. That's the one the company gave to me, sitting out in front of my house. And I'm thrilled to have that Jeep. They put the wheels and tires on it. They jacked it up for me. They gave me that Jeep, and I'm super stoked to drive around it and advertise LifeVantage. They've changed the program a little since I got in, when all was offered was the Jeep. Now you've got Jeeps, you've got Harleys, you've got four-wheelers, you got side-by-sides, you got wave runners, you can get a trip around the world. Or if you just want the money, guess what? The company will hand you a check for $25,000, and you can do with that what you want. So, different? Yeah, we're different here at this company. We do things other people just simply don't do. Now, rather than go through that comp plan, one of the things I love to do is just show our earning claim statement. This shows the high, low, and average income of every rank in the company, from brand new distributors who just start to the Master Pro 10s. Now, this is important because we're excited about this. We are, and we put it out there. We're not afraid to share this information. In fact, if you went to our homepage, LifeVantage.com, went down to the bottom of the page under the resources column, this chart is there. That's how proud we are of it. Very few companies, very, very few companies will do this. In fact, a best practice of the Direct Sales Association, if you're a member of it, is you're supposed to be putting this out there for people to see. I can tell you now, I've looked long and hard at other companies, and I've found 3 of them. And trust me when I tell you, they were nowhere close to what we're doing. We do it because we're proud of it. We don't have any problem sharing with people what gets made in this company. As I told you, I'm an Elite Pro 9. You can take a look at the Elite Pro 9 and get some idea. Even if I'm the worst income earner in the Elite Pro 9, gosh, life's not too bad, is it? So how do you get started in this company? Well, I mentioned earlier, you join and you get a product pack. They go from $350 to $1,250. $50 of that amount is a start kit. I'll show you a start kit in a second, but it's stuff that the FTC says you have to have in order to be declared a distributor. The rest of it is all about product. Silver, gold, and platinum. So $300 worth of product, $600 worth of product, $1,200 worth of product. And in fact, it's actually more product dollars than that. Very simply, what we do is we sell it to you at a big discount so you can get as much product as you need. And I just tell people, get what fits for you. There's no question. I mean, if you're a single college kid, $1,200 in product is probably not what you need. But here's what you need to know about it, because people are always asking me, what do I recommend? Well, simply, I recommend the Platinum, and I'll tell you why I recommend the Platinum. Number one, if you're in at the lower ranks and you're on this call today, you can upgrade, and I would suggest you do that, because there's a whole Platinum experience that goes along that when we go to our national events. But here's the big stuff. Platinum distributors, the statistics prove, their checks average 226% more than the gold and silver, and they rank advanced 3.5 times faster. Now, I can't tell you I know exactly why it works that way, but I do know it works. And so that's why I'm telling you, I think it's incredibly important that if you're in this for the money, and I won't lie to you, I am. I mean, and I'm not money hungry, but I'll tell you what, it provides options, and it provides ability to do things that you don't have to think about. It gives you your time back because you're able to hire people to do things for you that you normally might have done yourself. And guess what? That's freedom. That's financial and time freedom. So if you're going to be in it for the money, why leave money on the table? Take the 226%. Get in as a Platinum, build, and go to work. And we're going to help you do that, by the way, because that's exactly what we do. A system, we call it the blueprint. We show people how to do this. We walk them through. All the stuff you see in this picture comes in your start kit, along with a bunch of samples that you don't see in there. So we do that with every one of them. Every top earner I know used the blueprint to get where they're at, and they use it to teach their teams. On top of that, we host weekly training calls on top of the on-the-job training you do with your local people, weekly training calls, monthly training calls where they send people around the country to teach on a monthly basis, top distributors. I'm headed to Nashville this month. I'll be there in 2 weeks. I'm super excited to go to that town. Love the people down there. But I've done 50 of those over the last 6 years, and just love to get out there and train and help people. And you get mentors in this business, and that's incredibly important to have a mentor, someone that can share with you this little secrets, if you will, that you don't think about every day, and things that can help you. But we have a system. That's the important part. We just don't ship you a box of stuff and say, hey, let us know how you do. We walk you through every step of it because we want you to be a success. If you're not a success, we're not a success. So that's awfully important. The other thing that's part of our system that you don't see elsewhere is our apps. Let's face it, this is an app-centric world. It's growing faster with apps every day. It's the first company I've ever seen you can build this business on your phone. We have 4 apps today, and in fact, the company has announced already that in Orlando here in November, they're going to have a single app that's going to bring all these different features together into one app, and I'm excited about that because you'll be able to get to all the resources to not only reach out to people, recruit, share information with them, train people, manage your business, enroll people, all these different things, advertise in social media. It'll all be in one app together, and I'm super excited about that because I'll be honest with you, at 61, I'm not an app-centric guy, but I'm learning it because it's a wave of the future in this industry without a doubt. It's the only place I know you can build a multi-million-dollar business one tap at a time on your phone. Show me something else you can build on your phone like that that's a multi-million-dollar opportunity. I don't think it exists. Question for you. What would Uber be without the app? Probably just another taxi company. So we've gone over these 6 key things. I hope each one of you found something there that you're excited about and it meant something to you. If you've got questions about any of them, get with the person that got you on this call tonight and let them answer the question. Our world is changing. Technology is changing. Businesses are changing. It's not the one-off sandwich shops anymore. It's the Subways. It's the Qdobas. It's the chains that are making it. Uber, Facebook, Amazon. It's all social selling. It's recommending. I would have never known about Uber if somebody hadn't said, hey, man, let's just get an Uber. And I said, what is an Uber? And they said, oh, that's the newest, greatest way you get a ride, and it's less expensive, and it's easy, and the cars are clean. I said, great. And he picked out his phone and hit the Uber thing, and 4 minutes later, somebody pulls up to the curb and takes us where we want to go. It was already prepaid. It was awesome. At social selling, that's referring people to something that they haven't been referred to before. And LifeVantage, guess what? We're really moving into that social media and social selling side. It's exciting, and you get to do that with a partner technology company. We provide the technology. You get to do the social selling. So, is it time for you now? When should you act? Well, I would tell you act now. Waiting is a mistake. The longer you wait, the harder this is going to get what you want out of it. Not to do the business, because we're still going to be here. But I don't want people to get in a tougher spot than they're already in. So when should you act? My suggestion is you act now. Warren Buffett says, if you can't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll be working until you die. Tonight when I lay my head on the pillow, the people in Australia and Hong Kong and Japan going to work for our company, guess what? I'm getting paid on those because I'm an elite distributor. I get to share a little bit in what the company does. This guy is arguably the most successful individual investor in the history of time. I tend to take his advice. He tends to know what he's doing and doesn't make mistakes. And by the way, he owns 2 network marketing companies. He considers them the jewels of his investment portfolio. He's been quoted as saying that when people have asked him about it. Bottom line is, he's smart, he's wealthy, he knows what he's doing. Those are the kind of people you want to listen to when you're trying to make money. So in closing, a simple question. Should we save you a chair? Would you like to come join us? One of the little bits I didn't mention to you earlier about the Life Venture program is the company and their incentive trips. They take us places, and they tend to love to take us places with beaches. A year ago, it was a Mediterranean cruise to 5 different countries in the Mediterranean. Oh my, Spain, France, Italy. Unbelievable. What, Palma de Mallorca. Wow. Couldn't have had a better time. I could have stayed in Italy and never come back. This year, they took us to Kauai. Amazing experience, 8 days in Kauai, all expenses paid, airfare, hotel, meals, everything, entertainment, you name it, all covered. And man, was it cool. Just unbelievable the way the company took care of us. This year, well, this year is going to go to the Bahamas, and it's going to go to a place called Atlantis. If you've never heard of Atlantis or never been there, and I haven't been there, but I'm hearing it from other people who have, they say it is the bucket list place in the world to go. So I hope you're going to be there with us. Go look it up online, because I hear it's an amazing place. I appreciate all you guys being here. I would love to see you on the greatest beaches of the world. I'll save you a chair. If you've got questions, do me a favor. Get with the person who got you on this call tonight and let them answer the questions for you. And I hope to see you at the next Life Vantage event. Take care, and thank you very much. Venture higher.
Oh, that was very nice. Because he's not married.